Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is lovely to see you today. In this video I'm going to be asking you to hold me accountable as I tell you all about the books that I want to be reading. So grab a cup of tea, let's get to it. So I have a big pile of books beside me. They are books that I've had for a while and I need to actually read. And I'm going to explain to you why I need your help with this. So basically at the start of this year, I had a major flare of my depression and I stopped doing my usual hobbies and interests. And one of those main things that I love doing is reading books. And I had a great big long pile of books and I would have read them all by now, but unfortunately I am still reading the book that I was reading in January, but I'm asking you all to hold me accountable. So I'm going to show you all the books that I need to read. You can let me know down in the comments if there's any that you'd like me to do a review of, if there's any you'd like me to show you. I am going to be doing reviews and things on my Goodreads, but I thought it was about time that I actually ask you to hold me accountable on this. So I'm really reaching out to you, my family, to help me to do this. But don't forget, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you join us. So don't forget to click that button and leave me a comment and a cheeky little like so I know that you're enjoying the video. But let's get to it, shall we? So the first book I've had for a long while, and this is the Book of English Magic by Philip Gom and Richard Haygate. And this is a book that I bought because I love history, I love dealing with history, and I am an English witch and I'm trying to decolonize my practice and really reach out into my past. I have been doing my family tree and most of my family are either Greek on one side of the family or Irish, and on the other side of the family just English all the way back. So I want to focus on my English magic because I am English. I was born and bred here, and so a history of English magic seemed like a really good way. It's a thick book and I remember that I tried to start reading it, but it was very heavy, like a textbook from college. But I'm determined to read this book, so yeah, that's one of them. The next one was a thrifted book and I think I talked about it on one of my thrift hauls. So if you like thrift hauls, don't forget, I will leave a link to my playlist of all my thrifted videos down below. But this is called Past Lives, Present Miracles, the most empowering book on reincarnation you'll ever need in this lifetime, by Denise Lynn. So I've been interested in past lives and life between lives for most of my life. It's something that I've really been interested in and really wanted to learn more about. Just what happens to us when we die. I think it's something that humankind has always been interested in, and past lives is a really good clue as to what happens to us, as do near-death experiences. And as always, I can talk about these subjects more on the channel. If that's something you're interested in, just let me know. The next is a book on angels by Teresa Chung, How to See Your Angels, a guide to attracting heavenly beings that heal, help and inspire. I work with Archangel Michael and I've always been drawn to working with angels. When I was a child and I used to be afraid, I always called on angels to protect me, and I think working with angels a bit more as I move forward is going to be really interesting and something that I definitely want to do. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. And then we have a recent release. This is The Witch's Path, Advance Your Craft at Every Level by Thorn Mooney. Now this is a book that's centered on moving up in your practice, dealing with more intermediate practices. It's not very long. This is probably going to be not next month's review, but the one after it, because I really want to read this. I'm so excited by this book, The Witch's Path, and just exploring how to deepen your practice, something that I talk about a lot on the channel recently because it's something that I'm interested in myself. The next book is also a recent release, and this is The Modern Witchcraft Guide to Runes, Your Complete Guide to the Divination Power of Runes by Judy Ann Nock. Working with runes is something that's really fascinated me. Throwing bones, charm casting, that sort of thing is is fascinating. We have always been, as humans, we've always done this as some way of divining what is coming, throwing pebbles with markings on, whatever. This book is really beautiful, and I really am looking forward to reading this one. This one might be the one after that. I'm starting to get, you know, it's getting in my head which ones I want to read. The next one is one that I bought when I went to Scotland. If you remember, I did a vlog of my trip to Scotland, and I bought this then. It's called The Modern Guide to Energy Clearing by Barbara Moore. Energy clearing is something that is so important. As witches, we need to know how to clear our energy. A lot of us are empathic, and so we kind of sweep up other people's energy into our own field quite easily, and knowing how to cleanse ourselves and just learning more about the history of it, that's something that's really interesting to me, so I am looking forward to reading that. And then we have an old classic, Moonology. This is because I do work with Hecate and Diana, and both are lunar witches, and working with the moon is something that fascinates me and baffles my brain. Somehow I can't get in my head how to work with the moon. I just don't understand it. Does anybody else struggle with this? You just kind of, you want to do something but you don't quite get it. And Moonology, I know, is a really good book for learning how to do that. So this is definitely something that I'm really excited to learn more about. So that is Moonology. Next up we have a thrifted book, and I cannot even tell you how excited I am to read this. This is called Talking to the Dead, Kate and Maggie Fox and the Rise of Spiritualism by Barbara Weisberg. Now, in the Victorian times, people became slightly obsessed with seeing spiritualists and trying to connect with the spirits of their ancestors. It became a thing that people did because a lot of people died back then. We had very poor care for especially the poor, but people would die in childbirth and would have large families to make up for that. And these two women are thought to be the reason why we are still divining, and spiritualism became such a big thing. So I'm really excited to learn more about these two sisters and how they created a movement really in Victorian times. I think it's going to be a really good book to read. So yeah. Oh my goodness, it's teetering and tottering already. Oh, the next one is The History of Magic, From Alchemy to Witchcraft, from the Ice Age to Present. Again, I am connecting with my ancestors, and I really want to start connecting with how they did their magic. How did they divine? How did they connect with their roots, connect with the elements? How did it happen? How did they do these things? So I thought another history book would be fun. I have again started trying to read this, and it's very like a college textbook, and so I struggled a bit to connect with it, but I am excited to read it because again I really want to just connect with the magic of my ancestors. So that's another book. The next one is more trying to connect with the Greek side of my family. Witchcraft was very big in those times in Greece. We have the Greek pantheon, which is still a major component of witchcraft. Many of us work with the Greek pantheon. A Practitioner's Guide to the Supernatural in Greece and Rome by Thames and Hudson. And this is written by Philip Matisyak. So I really want to read this. It's such a cool book. It's all about the history. Again, I started this book and kind of, it's about the time when I was really struggling to connect with reading. And so I kind of gave up on this book, but it's actually really good. They talk a lot about the kind of magic that we don't really practice these days. It's a beautiful book, beautiful illustrations inside. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. So I cannot wait to read that because my Greek heritage is something that kind of hasn't filtered down in my family. So we don't cook Greek food, we don't have Greek last names, we don't have any of that, and I feel like I want to connect more with that side of my family, so that is definitely something that I want to read about. Next up is The House Witch, your complete guide to creating a magical space with rituals and spells for hearth and home by Anne Murphy Hiscock. And I have read The Green Witch by this person, and it's an incredible book. But as I move forwards, I find myself attracted to spells that I can do in my house, and so this seems perfect for me. The House Witch, how to bring more, you know, cleaning and cooking and that sort of thing, how to make it magical is the sort of thing that I'm really interested in. Next up we have another history book. This is The Magical History of Britain by Martin Wall, and this is another historical book. I'm sorry, I'm going to play around with the settings on my new camera. It's all too bright at the moment, but this book looks really, really good. I bought this not too long back. It's all about Stonehenge and how we connected with these historical places. This looks a really good book. Let me know if you want me to do any reviews on any of these books in the future, because I'm totally open to doing that. Next up is a tarot book. I'm learning tarot and I'm doing really well with it, but I think it's really important to keep reading, keep learning. This is The Interpretation and Divination of Tarot by Jonathan D. It's quite a small book, and I think I thrifted this. I think this is a thrifted witchy book, but it's beautiful. It goes through each card in great detail, and I think it'll be a great resource for me. So I'm really, really thankful that I have that. I'm having to put them on the floor now. That's how big my pile is. Next up we have Runes. Yes, Runes, another rune book. I think I thrifted this book as well. So this is Reading, Casting and Divination by Jonathan D. Is that the same guy? It is. The two books are by the same guy. So this is all about runes and connecting with them. I love books like this. Are great. They're like little grimoires that you can just keep on your table and flick through when you pull a card, and it will tell you all about each card or each rune. They're great. Books like this are really good. They're thin, you don't have to take up a lot of room, so perfect. Then we have The Thrifty Forager by Alice Fowler. I really want to get into foraging. As I've said before, our town is surrounded by woodland, and I would love to be able to go out and forage. It gives you a lot of information in here about foraging and how to use the plants once you've foraged them. It's not a witchcraft book per se, but it can be used in a witchy way and teach you a lot, so that is a good thing. Then we have two books that I bought at the same time, and they are recent releases, so if you want me to do a video just on these, I definitely can do that. And one is about art magic. This is by somebody that I follow on Instagram, Molly Roberts. How to Become an Art Witch and Unlock Your Creative Power. This is a beautiful book of different ways you can craft, different things you can make. So if you'd like any crafting on the channel, just tell me about it and I will do it. And the next one is about how to create your own tarot cards, and this is Create Your Own Tarot Cards, a step-by-step guide to designing a unique and personalized deck. Teresa Reed and Adrian Hawthorne have written this book, and it also has cards at the back that you can make, but it goes through the whole thing of how, trying to hold it up, the whole thing of how to do it. What a beautiful book. And that's all my books. I do have a new camera. That was why I didn't record last week, because my camera broke and I had to order a new one, and it was an expense that we were not prepared for, and I don't know fully how to work, so please bear with me. We will learn how to change the settings and how to make it work better for us, but I hope that it wasn't too distracting, or that I hope it was bearable is what I'm going to say, because I really enjoyed being back in front of the camera with you all, and I hope that you will all share below at least one book out of this pile that you would like to have a review done of, or a separate video specifically on. So definitely let me know down in the comments any of those sorts of things. There'll also be a list down below so that you will know each of the books and you can look them up and treat yourself. So why not? I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to head down below and leave it a cheeky little like so I know that you enjoyed it and I can bring more like this to the channel in future. While you're down there, leave me a comment. Let me know all the things down below. Have you read any of these books? Have you never heard of them and now you're going to buy any of them? If there's any that you'd like me to do videos on, just let me know. I am totally open to doing that. And last but certainly not least, if you like my content and you like my face, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays. My health permitting, I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. Take care everyone, have a lovely week and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!